Ivan, congratulations. Performance has kind of been hot and cold lately, but I take it particularly that second half must have been quite pleasing.
Yeah, obviously happy to get a win. I thought and just the way it sort of went, it was a pretty tough game. The most ball and play we've had for the year, so there's definitely periods where, particularly our young guys, were struggling a bit. But I thought the last kind of 30 minutes, I felt like we were able to get enough field position and have the ball and kind of cut off everything that they were sort of trying to do. So I think the scramble defence in the first half was probably what set the game up for us. We haven't really had that this year. Like things sort of been a hallmark of what we've done in past years. So hopefully that's a sign of things to come.
Given where you are on the ladder and their wins have kind of been few and far in between, is there an element of relief as well?
Hey, absolutely.
What about your son Nathan? I mean, like to take control in the second half like he did, the 40-20, hands into the Brian Toro try, the sideline conversion. How good?
Yeah. He's made my life easier over the years a few times. All the Origin boys, I thought were amazing. It's such a huge effort to back up after Origin. I've seen a bit across the league this week, and it's something that I don't know if it's the greatest thing for these guys to do, but they'll all do it. And it was crucial that our boys did it today, and they all to a man. I thought they were all really good. Yeah.
Nathan's the sort of guy takes things personally, missing the goals on Wednesday. What does it say about him, 4 days later? 2 sideline conversions, deliberate outside of the boot, 40-20, kicks the line drop it as well late. What does it say about him?
Oh, he takes his craft really seriously in that. And I know he was really disappointed after Wednesday night, in that part of the game. So, glad he fixed it up. That's good. Hope he keeps doing it.
You touched on it earlier, just that first 20 minutes. They threw a lot at you. What impressed you? I know you use the word scramble, but is that the Penrith DNA coming back a little bit? Like they did not give up on any play because it looked like Para seemed to have room on the edges, but guys just pushing from the inside every time to get across.
Yeah, I think Para, they're a team, playing with confidence. They've obviously, under new management and they're getting some real traction about what they want to do and got a lot of players in good form. They were sort of given some leg ups and 6 agains at the start of the game as well, so that all of a sudden they've got possession and a good flow and they're right on top of their game, and they do move the ball a lot. And they got some really good threats. So yeah, we were definitely under the pump for sure. But it's standard for us to concede the first try, so maybe we're getting used to it. But no, there was some scrambling tonight today that was. It just hasn't been there this year, and that can honestly be the difference, between a win and a loss. So I was really, really happy with that.
I know a bit was made a decision to drop Paul to reserve grade today, but Casey kept his spot. Were you impressed with what you saw? Scores that try, puts in the really nice grubber. Did you see the improvements in his game that you were looking for, perhaps from earlier in the season today?
Yeah, look, I don't really like to talk about selection. I think that's unfair for the boys. They all know what's going on. I think it's fair to say we have a lot of players who aren't at their best. That's just how the year's going. But we do have some young guys that are learning, on the run. So Case, for example, is 19, just turned 19. Yeah, so it's it's good. We've got so much faith and he's got so much potential. Hopefully a day like today will actually allow him to realise how good he can be. And he will be. So, we're just in that phase where we're playing some young guys and we've got to, the best lessons they can get are out there. So, yeah.
Ivan mentioned Parramatta playing with confidence. And in terms of those young guys, how much or can they take? Do you see them taking confidence out of being able to turn them away in that scramble that Ivan's been talking about there?
Yeah, certainly I think so. Even just confidence in the ball in play time, it's a lot of fatigue in the game, and they've obviously had to turn up under fatigue. So you'd like to think that gives them confidence, and just the way we're training at the minute. You'd like to think we're taking confidence out of that as well. So, like, as much as the result might not have gone our way, but there's been sort of moments or periods in the year where we've sort of really tried to nail our training, and certainly this week, by all reports, I didn't actually have to train, but by all reports, the training was outstanding. So I guess that sort of shows as well off the back of the Newcastle how disappointed everyone was, even though we were down on troops, but how disappointed we were in the performance. So I just felt the response in that regard from the whole squad. Like, it's not just the boys playing, but it's the whole squad. So the more we can string that together, take confidence out of performances. Yeah, I'd like to think that goes a long way for everyone. Everyone's confidence, not just the younger boys coming through, but sort of the experienced players, and it's certainly going to need to be important.
I'm just back on Casey. Like, it's probably been a pretty, I guess, up and down sort of 6 months for him. Like, he has that great New Zealand debut here. He starts in first grade, has some time in Cup. He's back here, has a great game tonight. Like, how have you sort of seen a young guy like him navigating the sort of ups and downs that's come with his start to life as a pro?
Yeah, like they're all different, hey? Like, sometimes, yeah, well, always you have to just kind of monitor, like, who they are, like the personalities, where their position they play. Like, Cases, you know, he made our first team for Vegas, right? But him playing for the Kiwis in the last year, like, that meant that his pre-season is short, and for a kid, like, it's actually too short. So, you know, you're just trying to balance all that too. So, all I know, he's going to be a hell of a player, and we just got to try and manage him. You know, like, took him out of the team because I wanted him to keep playing, but at some point, sometimes you got to take him out. I think. I don't have the formula, but today will help him.
I know you asked about Nathan, but it'd be remiss not to mention the forwards backing up as well. Like, Liam Martin with 2 minutes to go has that great run, almost scores. Isaiah plays huge minutes, and Brian Toll, his defensive reads in the first half, strong carries. I know you mentioned the young guys having a lift during this origin period, but to see these guys come back and dominate as they do, just how important is it for this team when they need wins like they do?
Yeah, well, one of the most disappointing things about last week is, like, I didn't want the Origin boys to feel like they had to come back and right the ship. Which, I mean, we need them. You know, you've got so many guys, so many Origin guys, but you know how many players we've lost over the years too, of like similar calibre. So it's pretty obvious that you need those types of players, and we haven't got enough wins on the board throughout the year to this point to be able to have the luxury of resting them. But maybe we will next time. But we definitely care about their, not their welfare, but just making sure when they do play, they're at their best. So, but today was an important one for them, and very grateful for all their efforts.
Tom Jenkins, probably not a guy that demands a spotlight, but his journey back to the club's pretty fascinating. Like, signed to play Royal Massey Cup with St Mary's. How did he kind of end up back in the fold with you guys, and what do you like him so much about him to be playing him in first grade? Because this is like the longest run he's had in NRL.
Yeah, honestly, it's the best story of our year, really. And it says a bit about hunger and, him. He loves the club, and he came back, and we had a chat. So I couldn't promise him anything. But he went back and did everything he could. He didn't do the pre-season with us, but he was killing it in terms of numbers and fitness and stuff down there at St Mary's. So he just forced his way in. That's the beauty of luck. Like, when players aren't playing, when everyone's not playing well, that's opportunities like that come up. And he was our best last week. In a bad day, he was our best. So I think it was worth rewarding. He's also only 24. He's going to get better. So it's a good story.
Isaiah, can we just ask you one on Origin? I don't know if you would have seen, but Mitch Barnett went down with what looked like a pretty serious knee injury in the earlier game today. Firstly, how big of a hole does that leave for the Blues, and do you have a preference of anyone who might be able to stand up if needed?
No, I certainly hope it's not as serious as what you just made it out. One thing with Barney, he's just a wonderful team man. So I think you've seen that in New Zealand. I've been lucky enough to be a part of that with the Origin scene as well. So he's just someone you just love having around a group, just 100% effort all the time. And I think it showed again on Wednesday just gone how important he can be to a team. I thought he was outstanding in the middle. In terms of selection, that's not. I've got nothing to do with that. But I just hope for him, just knowing him as a mate, he's a great fella. So I certainly hope it's not as serious as what you've made that out to be.